Welcome to the Daybreak with Jeff Slakey podcast. I'm so happy you found us. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share this with your circle of influence. It's a collection of the interviews, news, and conversation during Daybreak with Jeff Slakey on I-Fiber One News Radio, KMAS, weekdays from 6 to 9. Well, midweek this morning. It's a Wednesday. Good morning, Spencer. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Doing good. It was again warm yesterday, warm again today, and on the show we've got a COVID update for you. The Shelton schools made a decision last night about the fall. There's also now a statewide burn ban because of the weather. And Jennifer Baria from the Mason County EDC, and we'll have more conversations as well. First, though, Mason County Public Health notified of 12 additional Mason County residents testing positive for COVID-19 yesterday, bringing the total to 142 positive cases in the county. Public Health continuing contact interviews. These positive cases many of them are within the same family or multi-family households. The county is testing at more than twice the rate during the peak back in April. Small community we are here in Mason County, so the location data of the positive cases will not be released to the public. We haven't done that since the beginning of this. If you are showing symptoms for COVID-19, early testing is encouraged. And at the earliest signs of any symptoms, please reach out to the Respiratory Illness Triage line, 360-427-3615, and they can assist you in scheduling an appointment at Mason Health's drive-through COVID-19 testing center.
Washington Governor Jay Inslee announced yesterday that the statewide pause for counties looking to advance from their current stage of COVID-19 economic reopening will continue indefinitely. It's the second time the pause has been extended since first implemented earlier this month. The extension comes days after Inslee tightened restrictions throughout the state for indoor activities in a further effort to stem a surge in COVID-19 cases. 17 counties are in phase 3 of that 4-part reopening process. 17 counties are currently in phase 2. 5 counties are in a modified phase 1 of reopening. State officials confirmed 875 more cases yesterday, bringing the total number of positive cases to more than 54,200. 30 more deaths also were reported, raising the death toll to at least 1,548. The virus causes mild to moderate symptoms in most patients. The vast majority recover. It's highly contagious, though, and can cause severe illness and death in some patients, particularly the elderly and those with underlying health conditions.
Well, last night, the Shelton School District had their school board meeting online, talked a lot about what to do about the fall, and the decision was made to hold all classes online this fall. School board approving the plan last night. Dr. Apostle spoke on safety of students and families as the priority. There is a community forum tomorrow night at 6 p.m. SheltonSchools.org has more information. First day of school is September 2nd again, but it looks as though all classes will be online starting this fall for the Shelton School District. We'll talk to Dr. Apostle Friday after this week's decisions and the community forum to see what he was thinking and what some of the members of the community had to say about this as well. Additionally, the North Mason School District will also hold all classes online in the fall. District Superintendent Rosenbach made that announcement yesterday as well. Tough one, but they are not able to safely offer in-person instruction in the fall. So that's Shelton School District and the North Mason School Districts.
Yeah, a lot of parents waiting to see how that's going to shake out, and students and teachers, too. It's really interesting to see how different communities and school districts are dealing with that all around the country.
I just hope that employers will, especially employers who may not have kids or may not have had kids for a long time, and just be as helpful as possible for this. Yeah. I mean, this is really one of these it takes a village scenarios.
Yeah, and something tells me summer's going to be very fast. The next thing you know, the kids are in school again. It seems like sometimes summer drags on for parents, and they're waiting for school to start, and this is going to be a totally different school season, obviously, for many reasons. I mean, maybe now that at least with Shelton and some other schools around the area that the decision has been made, and again, you can argue the merits of the decision
but at least a decision has been made, and now we can move on from that. So now parents will have a month to, find monies if needed, or try to get monies if needed for a new computer or whatever. But at least now there is a starting point to move forward for the start of school. I mean, it's a month away, plus a month plus a couple days.
Yeah, absolutely right. State officials across the USA Senate, Republicans' proposed slashing of a federally funded boost in unemployment benefits could delay payments for weeks or even months. Democrats are pushing back, arguing that cutting the extra payments to $200 from $600 is bad policy and that it's hard to implement. It took some states a month earlier this year to program aging computer systems to handle the initial increase. Under the GOP plan, there would be a second and maybe more challenging steps of boosting benefits so they equal no more than 70% of a person's previous income.
When we talk with City Manager Knighton tomorrow during the Focus on Shelton, that's going to be one of the things that we'll discuss is the benefit that he has seen coming into the city on these $600 a week payments and what could happen later in the year, with sales tax being the main driver for monies in the state of Washington. It's been hot, as you know, and the State Commissioner of Public Lands ordered a statewide burn ban because of hot and dry weather conditions. Hilary Franz, the Commissioner of Public Lands, says the order goes into effect, Tuesday. So over the weekend, Tuesday it will start, remain in effect through the end of September unless conditions improve. It's interesting that she come out with this yesterday. I was talking with Karin Lee from the EDC, and last year we had that fire forum. You remember that? Forum at the Civic Center.
Yep.
So she was asking if I could find that again and repost that. It's got a lot of great information with a lot of different folks. It was a year ago, but still the information holds true. And so you can find that on our website, ifiber1newsradio.com, also on our Facebook page. Let's see. Currently, she says, Fran says, 4 large fires are burning in the state. The largest one is near Wenatchee.
Starbucks revenue shrank 38% in its most recent quarter, but the coffee giant says it's recovering faster than expected as its stores reopen from coronavirus lockdowns. The Seattle-based company said yesterday it expects coronavirus-related losses to ease through the rest of the year. The Seattle-based company said 97% of its company-operated stores around the world are now open, including 99% of stores in China and 96% in the U.S. CEO Kevin Johnson said quick pivots like adding curbside service have helped increase sales.
Well, it's a Wednesday morning here. We'll continue on today again on the show. Jennifer Baria from the Mason County EDC. And that, more conversations. We'll look at sports and more. It's all coming up here on Daybreak.
From the iFiber One News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes here on the Daybreak Show. And on Zoom video conference, joining me is Jennifer Baria from the EDC, ChooseMason.com. She's the executive director. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Just another Zoom meeting. So exciting.
Zoom meeting. Put it in the book. I have been watching and looking around the community, Mason County and in the downtown of Shelton, and it's really kind of a bizarre time we're in, where we're in the end of July. It's hot out. Everybody has been trying to do their best to adhere to all of this new normal since March now. I mean, it's been months. But I'm starting to see from everybody, there's certain things that are starting to crack a little bit. And as I look through the businesses and walk around downtown Shelton specifically after the show or before the show and just look at the number of small businesses that we have. And then I try to think about the folks, the people behind those businesses. A great example, this is not necessarily part of this story, but I'm going to use this as an example. You guys at the EDC gifted Spencer and I some great iFiber masks from the Shopper. And, the Shopper does so much in the community, and the Neelys are just such great people. And it's a family behind the business. And it has got to be just such a struggle for them to be looking at their employees, they're looking at their bottom line, they're looking at all the partnerships in the community, and they are having to make some serious decisions on how they remain open, how they will continue to help the community in ways that, they have been able to do so for months to come. And, not with them, and I was just using them as a great local business, but other businesses around.
Unsponsored highlight.
And thanks for the masks, they fit great. But, other businesses out there that are in different industry, restaurants and things like that. I don't know about in Shelton particular, but I have seen reports and heard the critics really start to go after the way that you have to do business right now. Mm-hmm. You got to wear a mask. You got to go into a place and you got to wear a mask. And it is such a politicized issue that there are both folks, 50% of the population thinks the other 50% of the population is completely gone wacko with these masks things. Almost and to the point where folks are verbally accosting. I saw a video of some 16-year-old teen working at an ice creamery somewhere in the Midwest, and they were just getting berated for saying, "Sorry, sir, you got to have a mask on," or something like that. And it's not like the young teen worker is not the one that says, "Well, you got to have a mask on."
Right. Those 16-year-olds, they're trying to rise up and control us all.
They'll get you. They don't want that facial recognition. No, and it's not the business owner that's making these decisions in many cases. It is a mandate from the governor and the health department and L&I and commerce. And there are serious repercussions that people have to internalize before they make some decisions here.
I think it is full stop the hardest time right now to be a business owner than any other depression that we've gone through. And I think the biggest outlier is that we don't know when it's going to end. We don't know, honestly, what's going to change in those regulations or those health safety measures that we need to take next week. It could change in a couple of days if there's a giant spike or if there's something that happens that people have gathered. Let's say it's in Mason County and we're still in phase 3, you're still allowed to gather. So what happens if something, all kind of comes together wrong and 20 people all of a sudden, unrelated, not family contacts, unrelated, are at this place, and then boom, you're going to see a big surge. That's going to make the state start paying attention to Mason County and say, what's going on there? Let's roll back some of these phases that we've been able to get to because we've been so concerned and supportive of all of our community members, our businesses, and we're going to see those roll back. And being a business owner and going through the different things that I as a business owner have to do now to even stay in operation, to be able to sell my product, sell my food, have people come in and enjoy the experience. It's beautiful outside. Even having outdoor seating, being able to kind of work your way around all of these restrictions that are being put on you. I think these businesses are really in need of our kindness and our support and our grace. We are hearing quite a bit from our businesses about the frustration that people are having over these masks. And you said it just right. It is a politicized thing now. This health concern has become divisive. So you have people that are yes to masks. How could you not wear them? you don't have it, but how could you not wear them to protect somebody else? And then you have other people that don't want to wear the mask. They're healthy. They feel healthy. They want to be able to move about their life as normally as possible. And it's been going on for so long that we have reached that boiling point, but we're boiling over to the wrong people. Our businesses don't have that control to say, well, sure, you can come in with a mask. They have been mandated by the state to put in these safety plans in order to operate, in order to sell their food, sell their product. And if they don't adhere to that, then they're going to get fined. They're going to get shut down. LNI is going to come and investigate them. And that is the last thing we want to have happen, is to have our businesses shut down again. It was a horrible start in middle of March. We don't want to get to that place again. So being able to interact with our businesses, the owners, and like you said, the teenagers that are working behind the counters, they don't know how to handle that aggression that customers are giving them, or the defensiveness. They have been told by their boss that they need to do this because the boss has been told by the state that we need to help manage this health crisis. So
okay, let's break
it's an interesting place to be.
Well, the other thing too is that it's inconsistent from county to county, from state to state, and the inconsistencies can also come whether or not you're in a building and there's less than 10 people and the building's not selling anything. So then there's certain rules that apply there. So we have, as you know, guests come in and do interviews in studio when available. And we have masks that we are wearing, and there is just 3 of us. It's you and me in the recording room, and Spencer is in some other room. So there's only 3 of us, but we all have masks on. Now, I also understand, though, because of the distance that we are at, and we're not engaged in commerce, that and stop me if I'm wrong, but we wouldn't necessarily have to have that mask on. So then you go from one place and then you go to another place, and now it's different, and you forgot your mask because you forgot it's in the wash, and now
that's the worst.
You have your bag, but you don't have your mask, or and so the inconsistency, I think, is the other issue that people are having such a hard time, because you have to remember so many different things for different scenarios. So let's just go through right now. The majority of the things we're talking about are small business owners, and they are primarily in the restaurant industry. Okay. So what are the rules as of, we're taping this on the 28th. We'll air it on the 29th, so it's not like we'll change that much. But what are the rules?
Oh, you're gonna challenge me.
For what people have to do going into a restaurant, and what do restaurants need from those patrons?
So I can tell you generally what's going on. I know that the governor just last Thursday did some reductions to this, but on a whole, generally for a restaurant, if they are still offering dine-in options, what the governor announced on Thursday was a decrease in the number of people that could be in that dining area. Okay. What you as the patron need to do, number one, is realize that the owner is probably somebody that you know and actually like, that you're friends with or family with, that those servers are there for that same reason. They like their job, they want to get paid, and they definitely don't want to get yelled at. So just remember that in your everyday communications with people, that these are people as well. These aren't big conglomerates that are out to destroy your world. These are people within your community that are there in a service position. So treat them well. So if you're going into, if the restaurant has decided to keep their dining room open, realize that you should probably give them a call and see if they have a reservation policy that they've implemented because there's such limited seating. If they don't and you show up, know that you might have to wait. Show up in a mask. You will walk into the restaurant with a mask, and you will sit down at your table with a mask. Once you're at your table, you're in your area with your friends or your family, that group of people that we'll call them your safe people. Mm-hmm. They're people that you are fine with. It's your parents that you live with or your kids that are always there. You can take off your mask at the table. Your server will generally be wearing a mask, coming and going, taking your order just like normal, usually mask and gloves. When you get up from the table to go to the bathroom, put your mask back on. Go to the bathroom, wash your hands, do what you need to do. Mask is still on, come back to the table. You're welcome to take your mask off. When you move from your, we'll call it home base at a restaurant, when you move from your home base, that's when that mask goes back on. When you're shopping, depending on the size of, be prepared to wear that mask. And if you're like me and you hate that hot air next to your face, you're going to put it on at the last second before you get to the store, as long as there's nobody around you. And when you come back out, you're going to take it off so that you can walk with the air against your face out to your car. As long as you are maintaining those social distances from other shoppers around you, once you're out of the store, I don't think you need to wear the mask outdoors. Outdoors is kind of your safe area as long as you're maintaining those boundaries.
You know, we're talking a lot about restaurants here, but small businesses of retail shopping is just the same with people you know and have grown up with, or have asked them to help sponsor your sports team, something like that. But, you know, when I'm listening to you talk about the restaurant requirements, it is cumbersome, but we are in the middle of a global pandemic where we are seeing the numbers rise exponentially here in America, and even in Mason County, the numbers seem to be on a rise based on testing. And it's just hard for folks. You know, if you're going to wear the mask for 10 minutes, think about, you know, that 10 minutes could keep that business open. You know, depending on what you buy, you're going to buy something, or you're going to frequent that restaurant. These folks are, you know, the margins already for a small business are razor thin. For a restaurant, it's tight, and they are going to try to do everything they can to keep you safe. But you need to do something for them, not just, you know, say, well, I'm going to spend $20 with you.
Right. But if that $20 is spent with you yelling at them the whole time because of the safety measures that they're required to have in order to operate, you're going to have a point at which the business says it's not worth it.
Oh yeah.
Let's just close it down. And every business that I've talked with in Mason County, and Karin, our outreach manager, really just, they want to be in business. They want to be open. They want to be serving. They want to be here for our community, but not at the cost of that level of opposition in something that they can't control.
They can't control it. They don't want to hear it. They would love to not, you know, like you said, have everybody come on in. We're wide open again, but we're just not at that point. Well, you know, one thing that we did not get to, and I hate to add additional items at the end of interviews because we don't give them their due diligence, but
and by the way, crowbar
that the Ridge is still planning on MotoAmerica, and you and they and L&E Bottling have come up with some wicked sweet deal for Mason County businesses to send their logos into, there's a link, we'll put the link up, and we get the link to you, and then it's going to get printed off or something and then shown as MotoAmerica, you know, presents the Ridge to America really coming.
Right. So as just a really quick kind of overview on what MotoAmerica is, it was going to be a very big event that brought in probably close to 14 to 15,000 spectators alone into Mason County, which I'm very sad about it not happening, but with the participants. But since the Ridge is an outdoor venue, they have all of that space. They're able to designate individual areas for each team. The teams are still going to be able to run. The nice part is that Fox Sports is still going to come out and it's still going to be televised. And since there's not a lot going on in sports right now, it's going to be on both of their channels. So you're looking at a venue that is going to be showcased to the nation. And we have an opportunity. Thank you to the Ridge and to everybody that's come together to really make this happen, but they have come together and built a plan to offer free advertising to our local businesses. So all the business has to do is go to that link, attach their business information if they're interested, and it will be on 5 signs throughout the property so that as the camera scans by, you'll have that. You'll start to get that name recognition, the color recognition. Oh, look, it's, the shopper. Oh, look, it's Black Star. Oh, look, it's this. And you'll be able to see those different businesses that are local businesses being able to get a very unprecedented national recognition level.
I'll make sure I get that link on this interview here and
wonderful.
Share.
It'll be up on our website by the end of tomorrow as well. Okay. We just got that. Yes, go ahead. So we've pushed it out to all of our businesses, to all of our partners to help us push it out, to get those signs developed, made, printed so that they're ready for the event.
Jennifer, always good to see you and talk with you, and always good information. ChooseMason.com. Be kind out there as it's not, it's important to visit those businesses that are remaining open, but it's also important to know that there are human beings with emotions behind the door.
They're struggling just as much as we are with the inability to control this horrible virus that is going around and will probably be with us for a little bit.
I mean, their livelihood, their lifestyle, they're on the line. The jobs of, a ton of folks are on the line, and you're over here yelling because you can't get a crab cake with a mask, without a mask on. I mean, it just does not make sense to me. But
we've got businesses going through their personal savings to be able to stay in business. So just the love and support that we can give them and treating each other with the kindness that we should anyway, but during this time especially need to really hold close.
All right, Jennifer, good to talk with you. We'll check in soon.
As well.
ChooseMason.com.
Thanks for having me.
You're listening to Daybreak on I-Fiber-One News Radio.
A good Wednesday morning again. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes here on the Daybreak Show. I don't know, man. It just seems like I haven't had any time to watch any TV over the last few months.
Yeah, I'm watching older TV. I'm still on season 6 of Supernatural, and I think the final season is right now, and I think it's season 14. So I'm not even halfway through that show, so I got time to catch up.
There's a lot out there to binge watch. I'm just kidding. Obviously we've been stuck at home for the last month, and people have been rewatching The Office, a million different times. But there are a bunch of new shows out, and yesterday the Emmy nominations happened, or the announcements of the nominations happened, and the host Leslie Jones from Saturday Night Live says it was another great day as she took part in the socially distanced event to talk about the programs and folks who are in line for Emmys this year. The Watchmen on HBO gets the most nominations. Did you see this HBO retelling, or do you remember the comics or the movie?
I didn't see the movie.
A couple years ago.
I remember the comics back when I was collecting them. That's when that was out. I remember. I never bought it or got into the storyline, so I'm kind of lost on that one. But I know of the characters and stuff.
It is. I watched the first 2 episodes of it on HBO, and it's very good. It's very raw, though. I will let you know that. 26 nominations come from that one, including for the main cast members, Regina King and Jeremy Irons. Let's see. Also, is this Ozark show. This is on Netflix. Stephanie has zipped through that series. I think her folks watched it as well. Apparently, it's good.
I have not seen it. No, but everybody I hear talking about it raves about it. I haven't really heard too many negative reviews about it.
So Netflix gets 160 nominations.
Wow.
That beat the mark set by HBO nearly every year before this one. They only got 107
slackers.
Nominations. I think one of the reasons, I know, geez, get on it, man. That's well, if they hadn't have ruined that final season of Game of Thrones, they may have done okay there.
That's the one with the dragon, right? Game of Thrones.
Yeah, a couple dragons in there. The Mandalorian got 15 Emmy nominations. Most of them were technical because of the costumes and makeup and stuff. But The Mandalorian gets a bunch of Emmys. That's a pretty good show. And this is amazing. Quibi is a new service that offers movies and TV shows in 10 minutes or less.
Oh, I've heard of something like
gets
that.
An Emmy nomination. Yeah, it's like the TikTok of TV shows. It's just short little bits. I have not checked into it, but apparently
it's helping our attention spans.
Emmy nominations. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely helping expand those. And then Zendaya gets her first Emmy Award nomination for Euphoria. Again, another one on HBO. So, there's always something to watch, but especially these days, it seems like folks are falling back to their old comfort shows. I saw that there is a new version of Perry Mason. It's set in the 1920s.
Oh, wow. That could be good.
And yeah, I watched half of it before I fell asleep, and it was pretty gritty as well. But I liked, the old Perry Masons and the old Columbos.
Well, Raymond Burr. Who's Perry Mason in the reboot? Do you know who the actor?
The HBO one?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Because Perry Mason was great as, Raymond Burr was great as Perry Mason.
Yeah. It is Matthew Reese. The guy, he used to be in The Americans.
I don't know. I'll have to look him up. I'd probably know him if I saw him, but...
Yeah, he plays Perry Mason.
Oh, I'll have to maybe check that one out.
Yeah, something to watch there.
Well, I've been craving lately, more than movies, just movie popcorn. But it's so weird to think that most of us haven't been... I can't even tell you... It might have been the last Star Wars movie that I was in a theater for. I was trying to think what last movie I saw theatrically, and I couldn't tell you, so I'll just say Star Wars. But it's another sign of how the coronavirus pandemic is turning Hollywood on its ear. So usually, of course, when a movie's released, it runs in a theater, usually 2 or 3 months if they're lucky. Universal Studios is flipping the script on that. They made a deal with AMC Theaters. Universal has secured a deal to shorten the window for airing a movie in theaters to just 17 days. I mean, can you imagine before coronavirus? Nobody would have ever proposed that. So that's a major concession for theaters who traditionally have refused to run movies that don't spend a longer time on the big screen before, being shoved to video on demand and things like that. It's a win for Universal Studios, which, like other Hollywood studios, have been trying to get movies at home formats more quickly into home formats. This new film covers popular movies like the Fast and the Furious franchise, Jurassic Park series, Despicable Me sequels over the next 3 years.
That's fascinating because 17 days is not a very long time. And, it would be 17. I don't think I would. You're probably right for me, too, on Star Wars. And I'm not one to necessarily go to a movie opening day. I bet it would be past 17 days that I'd ever even think to go to a movie theater. And now it's already going to be on TV. Hey, if that's that new Jurassic Park, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I made some microwave popcorn the other day, and I put way too much butter on it.
Is there such a thing?
Thinking,
there's no such thing.
Oh my! It was this time. This time there was.
You bite into it and it just dribbles down your face.
Well, you know that microwave butter, and it's like Blasto butter. That's what they call it. It's just a type of microwave popcorn, but it's just very, very buttery.
Yeah.
Almost too buttery.
Lately, I've been making it on the stove and then just melting some butter in a little Pyrex,
Yeah.
And then just kind of drizzling it on top, shaking it up. A little bit of sea salt.
Well, that's what I thought I was doing. Sea salt, yeah. That's what I thought I was doing, but my eyes must have been a lot bigger than my stomach or something because, geez, it was buttery. I needed about 5 napkins.
I remember some theaters tried the pump where you put your own butter. That was a disaster. I don't know of any theater that would still do that, but it was a mess. I'd hate to be the concession cleaner on that one. Everybody just pouring it all over the counter.
I don't know. So when that happened, I remember and hearing a trick. So if you go to a place and you're able to do that, what I have read is that you take your bag of popcorn and then you stick a straw down the middle.
Yeah.
And then you somehow figure out how to pour the butter down the straw, and then you pull the straw up and it hits every layer or every, if you're looking at it like a strata of earth, every layer you pull and the butter comes and it gets into every part of it.
Wow. Interesting.
But, not many folks are heading to the theaters these days. I wish we could. We've got, tickets to Shelton Cinemas that we're just ready to give away once things get back open. Always check out the drive-ins. Those are still going strong as of right now. Well, more Daybreak Show coming up.
Thank you so much for listening to today's Daybreak with Jeff Slakey podcast. Again, I'm so happy and honored you found us and chose to listen. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share this with your circle of influence. It's a collection of some of the interviews, news, and conversation during Daybreak with Jeff Slakey on I-501 News Radio KMAS, weekdays from 6 to 9. Thank you so much again, and talk with you next time.